So in Afrikaans we have a saying, wat jy vrees sal oor jou kom. So what you fear you will actually attract it. And yeah, it's in a way true. But being in PV safety, I saw so many risks the last few years, 2 years or so, that I really focused into that. And yeah, like I told in my previous videos on where they've asked where did I get my education and what I explained everything. So yeah, if you want, go look for that video. So I had my cowboy days back, started back in 2000 with solar energy, where there was, I think maybe there was YouTube, maybe. But yeah, Google was there and that helped, and also my father-in-law. But I got to a point where you don't respect DC voltage, and you're not afraid of it, and you put on systems and nothing happens. Luckily nothing happened. But now suddenly when you look deep inside it and to see how little voltage or amps do you need in perfect conditions that you can be, that's fatal. I did a post as well. The smallest system that killed somebody was a 24 volt system, 2 panels on a RV in Saudi Arabia. Not even working on the panels on his air conditioning. So yeah, yesterday I still have my customers. I don't get into the field anymore. I miss it, but yeah, I still have my customers that I service. And he phoned me, but that's on a small system. We didn't build it himself. We helped him on replacing it, but he's got a trailer that's got a solar panel on and a pole, and there's 4 cameras, IP cameras. So we helped him with the IP cameras, but the trailer he built himself, somebody else built it for him. So and there's a battery on, one battery, and there used to be just a plain simple MPPT on. We replaced the MPPT for him, and a few weeks ago, the son phoned me and said, yeah, no, they have to replace the battery all the time. So lead acid batteries, yeah. So let's just go and have a look. But every time if they replace the battery, you first have to put on the battery, and then you have to put on a switch on the panels. So there's we have to take, but such a small system, but it really needs to be looked at because the workers don't always do that, and then it doesn't charge. And then I got there and I never looked at it, but they put gates around it. So that gate actually, just the top edge of the gate, throws a shadow basically the whole day over the panel, and that just no charge. So we looked at it, and I told them no, they must do that and clean the panels, because it's where these cattle sleep at night, every night. So there's lots of dust, and the panel is very dirty. So no production out of the panel of that. And also, I can see micro cracks because it's fixed onto the trailer, and they move it from the one place to the other place. But it's still producing, and it's only one, and everybody struggles. Would love to. We're gonna get to a point where we just redesign it and just make it better. But yesterday I went there, and I've been shocked by that system. But what happened is basically we looked at it and measured it, see there's voltage coming in, no amps. Okay, see the micro cracks, open up the back, search for the diodes, see if they are fixed. Everything seems fine. Basically, when you hook it up now, I don't know, the fault finding, it's not always easy. But yeah, short circuit it, look, okay, still gives 7 amps. So it is working, but for some reason it doesn't go into the MPPT. So we had a look, and we searched for the problem. And fault finding is not always, it's always not easy to see why does the MPPT doesn't charge. So we reset everything, put it back on, and we got to a point where it's inside of a tube. So we took out the wires to short circuit it there, to measure it, and gives amps, put it back on, nothing, so cannot understand that. There's a breaker, check the breaker is fine. And yeah, so I said, no, there must be something in the wires, although it's in these flexible tubes. we took it out and it was full of water. But we took it out and nothing, but as I, tried to measure it again and I put it on, because of that wetness on my hands, it choked me. And, I know how little amps does it need. So, I was, for the first time, it was like, I've been choked so many times with AC, especially on the AC side, stupid. But, I'm not really even afraid, because your skin is a very, very, what do they call it? It's isolating actually, but the wetness suddenly changed. So with that one panel, suddenly I was very scary, okay? But eventually what happened is the MC4s weren't done, they take it in and out all the time. So that red seal, most of them have a red seal, must have been moist, and that moist there, so it basically makes a short inside of that pipe, and we didn't realize it basically. So it's just a small system, but yeah, it's actually scary. So it's just something to share with you, that DC voltage are dangerous, and I really think people cleaning panels as well. I have not the best gloves, but I have gloves, but I didn't take it with, because it's just, I know sometimes most of the times it's basically they keep the panels on, they don't switch it off, and then they put the battery on. So the MPPT really wants to first see what the voltage is. So he wants to see if it's a 12 volt or 24 volt system. And if you put a panel on, so that 60 cell panel will give 23 volts, 24 volts. So the MPPT might think it's a 24 volt, and when you connect it, it's like it's too low, so it's in a discharge state then maybe, so then it will not charge. That's the most of the time the problem, and to train that for the workers always is not easy, because they tend to forget. They only do it once in 3 months or so. Then they replace the battery that they charged. But yeah, so DC voltage is, I felt it yesterday. I've been choked with energizers lots of times, but it's something else. But yeah, have a blessed day, have a good weekend, stay safe.